No doubt women today are busier than ever, juggling multiple balls at the air in one time, all while trying to keep it together, sometimes on just a little bit of sleep without a break. It is such an important topic that our next guest was asked to help other women find ways to reduce stress in their lives and to find ways to put themselves first, if even for a bit. And joining us now is Dr. Tracy Alloway. She is a professor of psychology at the University of North Florida. And you were asked to contribute to an online forum, and the forum is called Tone Networks. It's something that's getting ready to launch. And this is something that's really aimed at empowering women, right?
Casey, this was such an exciting project to be part of. The whole idea behind this website is to create these short 2-minute videos to be able to give a little bit of support for women who are busy, like you mentioned, so that they can live, more healthy lives, have a little tip of how to function a bit more effectively and efficiently.
And so you've contributed a lot of content to them, but one specific short clip that you did was reducing stress.
Yes.
Which is always a good one.
It is, and I think that when I reflect on my own life. And so this morning I'd love to share just 2 quick tips with your listeners.
Yes, I wish we could go more in depth, but with the time allotted, let's talk about one thing that women can do to reduce the stress in their lives.
The first tip is to change your perception. And this is based on a large survey of thousands of people. It was longitudinal over a long period of time. And what they did was they asked people 2 quick questions. One, think about the last year and rate one of how stressful an event was. So maybe you moved, maybe you changed jobs. So rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how stressful you felt that was. The second question was equally simple. Rate how stressful you perceived that event to be. So not, did you perceive moving to be maybe not so stressful because you had a great support, or, maybe changing jobs is difficult, but you were really excited, so you perceive that to be less stressful. And here's what they found when they followed these people up over a few years, that it wasn't their rating of the stress itself that affected them physically, as far as their health of their heart and so on. It was how they perceived that stress. So in other words, people who may have rated an event as maybe a 2 or 3, so not very stressful, but perceived it to be very stressful, that was more likely to affect them with strokes, with heart attacks, with these kind of cardiovascular problems. So we can go through a very stressful experience, but if we don't perceive it that way, if we frame it in a positive way, that it's true, changing jobs is stressful, but look at everything I get to look forward to. I get to move to a new city. I get to have this kind of adventure. If we change that perception to be more positive, not only do we protect our mental health, we protect our physical health and our heart as well.
So how do we do that to have the biggest impact, right? Do we need to be writing this down? Do we need to say this out loud? Because sometimes if you're just thinking it to yourself, the negative thoughts sometimes seem to, overshadow the positive ones.
Yeah, and I think it's that consistency too, whether, as you're driving, say one good thing. And we talked about gratitude here before, and I think that's a great way to be very specific and very directed in how you focus that day. So tell yourself you're moving. What's one thing you're grateful about this move? Make that different next day. The next day, what are you grateful for about that move? So you're forcing yourself to focus on the positive and reframe it in the positive.
Is it possible then to retrain your brain a little bit so that way when events happen that could be perceived as stressful, you look more towards the positive than you do the negative?
Definitely, and that's exactly what I found in my own research, that people who are more optimistic, who have this more positive framing, are less likely to feel these kinds of depressive symptoms.
Okay, so have to work at it to make an impact. And you said another one, watch comedy.
Yes, yeah, watch the funnies. So this is also based on a study, and they found that when people watch 15 minutes of a humorous video clip, whether it's, cats chasing a ball of wool or whatever it is that makes you laugh, they found that watching those 15-minute clips reduced their stress levels. So they were looking at their cortisol levels and so on, and it also made them feel better. So not only was there a physiological change in their stress level, but it was also this emotional lift that they felt at the end. So a really easy way to kind of boost your mood. Yeah.
Although I know a lot of people who would not give themselves the opportunity to watch that for 15 minutes because they're so busy and they think to themselves, I can't possibly spend 15 minutes trying to watch a funny video when I've got X, Y, and Z to do.
Sure, well, have it on in the background, or maybe listen to some jokes playing in the background, but that 15 minutes can change your outlook for the rest of the day.
Good to see you. As always, Dr. Alloway, we appreciate you, and you can always find more on Dr. Alloway on her website, which is tracyalloway.com.